This segment is brought to you by Premier Barter Exchange, where you connect, network, trade, and grow. Joining me here in the studio today is Lori Davis. She is a counselor. She is a relationship specialist. She is a guru when it comes to the male and female psyche. She has her master's in clinical psychology, and you can always get in contact with her at 704-999-1781. You want to write the number down. You're going to need it now or sometime in the future. Just give it some time. 704-999-1781, and check out her website at www.lorianndavis.com, LORIANNDAVIS.com. Lori, what do you have for us today?
We're going to talk about something that I call the turtle and the hailstorm.
The turtle
Yes.
and the hailstorm.
Yes, it's about communication. It's about what happens in relationships when that romantic stage wears off and the real work of actually being in a relationship starts. And you start to have things you need to negotiate on. You start to have things about your partner that you don't necessarily like.
Okay.
They do things that you don't like, and you have to have discussions about that. And it's a pattern that couples get into that actually is very detrimental to relationships. It starts to deteriorate it. The communication goes away.
Okay.
Eventually, the love and the passion starts to leave the relationship. The intimacy starts to go.
I can see that.
And it's a cycle that I would say most relationships go through.
Okay.
And people either figure it out, or the relationship starts to deteriorate, or they get to a point where they're just resigned to, this is the way it is, and it's not going to get any better.
So either people can be the turtle? The male or the female?
They
or?
can be. They can be. So let's talk about what happens in relationships.
Okay.
They can be, but for the sake of today's conversation, because it generally is that the male is the turtle and the female is the hailstorm.
The male is the turtle,
More
and
likely
the female's the hailstorm.
than not. So we're going to
Okay.
make assumptions for the case of the ease of discussing this, all right?
Okay.
So what happens is, let's say you were going to go someplace, and you're sitting there waiting, and you're ready, you're all dressed up, you've got a date with some friends, and the guy, either your date or your spouse, doesn't show up in time.
He's late.
He's late. And
Okay.
maybe it's not the first time he was late, we're assuming, okay?
But there's traffic.
There could be all kinds of reasons.
Okay.
You know, and if it was one time and there was traffic, you might not be mad. But for the sake of this conversation, let's imagine that the wife is there and she's angry,
Okay.
or the girlfriend, and he walks in and she starts letting him have it. You're always late. How can you be late? It's so embarrassing for me to be late for my friends, and I'm all dressed up, and maybe I was. Maybe I was worried. I didn't know where you were. You know, you got the conversation,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You've
yeah,
heard this.
yeah.
Yada,
Uh-huh.
yada, yada.
Yeah,
And it goes
okay.
on and on. That's the hailing.
Okay.
And you can picture that.
Yes.
You know, and women are
I've seen that.
Women are the
On
ones
TV.
on TV.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Just want to
Women
clarify.
are the ones who are more than likely to do the hailing.
Okay.
Been there, done that. You know, what happens in this cycle is that
You get a punch in the eye.
you could.
Okay.
Men don't like that.
Men
they
don't
don't
like that.
that drama. They don't like the hailing. They don't like, you know, he's walking around the house and she's walking after him. He's trying to change and get dressed and she's still hollering at him. So what he's going to do is picture a turtle. He goes into his shell. He draws in. Now, that could look different. He might get angry and start yelling back, but he's still drawing away from the communication and from the relationship.
Yes.
Frequently, though, men will shut down and they will quit talking. They will come home from work and have something in their office they need to do. They'll
Conveniently.
want to go watch TV. They'll, you know, if when they walk in the door, if that's how the conversations go, that they feel like they're being hailed on, to protect themselves, they draw in.
And to protect her.
And to protect her, possibly, if there's somebody who gets angry. Yes,
Right.
they might do that. And they might start spending less time at home. And it can look a lot of different ways, but the scenario is the same.
Okay.
She starts hailing, he pulls in.
Okay.
The more and the more he pulls in, the angrier she gets. She feels like he's pulling away from the relationship, so she pursues him more. It's a vicious cycle. The more she pursues, the more he draws in. The more he draws in, the more she pursues. And you see this frequently in relationships. And it's not good.
Like
So-
the ball and chain syndrome.
Yes.
When she's on the leg trying to stop him from going
Yes.
away to the man cave because she wants to talk to him, but yet
Yes.
he's not ready.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So we need to talk about how to break this cycle, all right? And how can we do this better? How can we have this conversation in a way that we both get something out of it so that we build a relationship. We keep the relationship strong. We can't have unstoppable relationships, which is what I teach people to have with this kind of cycle going on.
So you need a gun and a knife?
No.
No?
No.
Oh, man, Lori.
Nope, you have to
Come
show
on.
up different.
You got really?
Yes, you need a different
Shoot,
perspective.
I'm looking for the excitement. For
Sorry.
the fireworks.
TV.
TV?
TV shows.
Oh, okay.
Not
All right.
real life.
Okay. Put away the guns and the knives.
Put away the guns. We're actually going to do
Okay.
this the opposite. We're going to try to
Opposite.
calm this down.
Okay.
So we're going to understand that women need to discuss this. And men don't want to be hailed on.
Okay.
So we need women to understand that they need to try as hard as they can. Ladies, I know it can be hard sometimes, depending on your personality, to get yourself together, to calm down, to take some deep breaths. You know, if he's not there yet and you know he's going to walk in the door and you know you're going to hail on him, go do something to distract yourself. You know, talk to yourself, whatever it is. And I have techniques that I can help teach you to do that if you need help with that.
Put tape over your mouth.
But we're going to calm down. So when he does walk
that
in
could
the door,
work, though.
Yes, it could.
Okay.
It could.
I'm just
We're going to
suggesting
say
things.
we're going to say you're going to still express your feelings, right? You're going to let the guy know, but you're going to take responsibility for it yourself. You're not going to blame. You're not going to criticize. You're going to say, I'm feeling upset right now, or I'm feeling angry right now. But you're going to try to keep your tone of voice better, all right, so that you're not hailing. You're
Okay.
going to say, it's embarrassing for me to keep my friends waiting.
But it's how you feel.
It's how you feel.
And a person has a right to feel.
You have a right to feel
however
that.
they
Somebody
feel.
can't argue
Right.
with it. Yes,
That's right.
And
Okay.
you're going to leave all the past though, all those other times behind, because that's not going to do anything except make him draw into his shell. And I tell people, do you want to be right, or do you want to have a conversation that goes well, and do you want to have a good relationship?
Most people will choose right.
Then that's where you need to come talk to me, because I'm going to help you to shift your perspective, to turn your head to look at things different, because that really isn't what you want. It might think at the moment it is, but you really want an unstoppable relationship.
You can win the
want-
battle.
Yes,
but
you're
not
gonna
necessarily
lose
the war. Exactly.
You want love
Okay.
and passion with the person you're in a relationship with. You don't want to be battling. Chances are there might be somebody who does, and that's a different category. So we're going to leave that aside.
That's WWF wrestling.
Yes,
Yeah, okay.
yes. So we're assuming that both people would like to have a good, unstoppable relationship. So you're going to use those I statements. You're going to talk about how you feel, but in a
Okay.
calmer way, so there's not so much drama, so that he can hear you. And he may then give you a reason for what happened, and that might be the end of it. But let's say it's not, you know. And so you're going to say, you know, I'm frustrated here because this is difficult for me, and I don't like being late, and it's embarrassing, and you know, and I'm feeling frustrated about this. So, but I'm confused. You say, you know, I don't want to always be upset. I don't want to fuss at you. I don't want us to have arguments, but I'm not really sure what to do. I need your help. What can you do
that's
to
good.
help me? So to solve this problem, because
Men like doing that.
Men like guys solve.
Yeah.
They like to solve
That's-
problems.
absolutely.
There's the doers. They're the fixers.
Yes.
So you've got it off your chest. How you feel. They've heard you because you didn't have drama, and you weren't hailing all over them,
Right.
and you didn't make them feel they did something wrong. So then you're asking for help. So
Yes.
then you might be able to get something that works. He might say, you know what? Maybe you need to tell me a different time. Because you
Right.
know what? You know I always run late. You know that's just part of my personality. So if it's important for us to leave the house sometime, how about you give me a different time we need to leave?
An earlier time.
An earlier time. I mean,
Okay.
you know, the two of you will work something out, but you've opened up that conversation. You've made it so that he can hear you.
Okay.
And then you've asked him to do what men like to do,
That's right. Solve problems.
to solve problems. So
That's some good
that's a
stuff.
way to get out of that cycle, and somebody has to be brave enough to do it.
Yes.
So
That's excellent. Lori, you have such wonderful advice.
thank you.
You're such a good counselor.
Oh, I want everybody to be happy and have great relationships.
Yes, and you can hear that all in your voice. Family, you need to write down this phone number, 704-999-1781, 704-999-1781. You need to see the smiles that we have here in the studio, all because of Lori. Check out our website, www.lorianndavis.com, LORIANNDAVIS. No more excuses for not having wonderful, unstoppable relationships, all because of Lori Ann Davis. who has her master's in clinical psychology and can solve all of your relationship problems if you just give her a call, 704-999-1781. Thank you so much, Lori, for being here with us.
Thank you.